Good morning and welcome to another scintillating edition of the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. Hi, how you doing? I'm Big Daddy Gonzo. Well, Buenos Sunday, man. It is as we check out outside the Gonzo Radio headquarters studio, sliding glass door window, lakefront. It is gorgeous outside, isn't it? Seated across from me, enjoying the gorgeousness as we speak, is the one and only Maz. Maz.
What's up?
What is with the duh? Do I have to do the duh thing all the time with it when I'm describing you as duh, Maz?
I'm not. How else would we do it?
Is that like your rap name?
I'm open to suggestions.
Yeah, careful with the cough. Every once in a while, you're going to hear me go.
We could just do
allergies.
Yeah, allergies. Oh, by the way, Diana, who I'm sure is watching, hello.
You can move your microphone over. You don't have to reach for it so hard. I mean, just slide everything over a couple of inches.
It's my first time.
It's your first time doing this, I know.
We found out that she is allergic to feathers.
Feathers?
Yeah, feathers.
Oh, man.
There goes those Saturday nights.
Man.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Anyway, just weird stuff. Like all your life, you don't realize that all these things are around you that are potentially causing you harm. And then you find out that it's a feather of all things. You're like,
well, welcome to Allergy Talk.
Wow. So, pretty cool.
It's just, it doesn't affect you until it really
affects
really
you. Yeah.
Affects
you wake up and your eyes are closed.
Affecting the crap out of
you. You can't
lately.
breathe.
Yeah, man. I mean, what was it? Is it old age? Is it old age causes you to become more allergic to crap? Or?
Probably because your immune breaks down.
Your body just gives up. It's like, I've been doing this for 53 years.
I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm over it. So.
Here, have some ragweed.
Yeah. All right, everybody to the pancreas.
Right. Everybody to the pancreas.
Let's go. We're gonna go over here now and fight this.
It's like that. It's like that Rick and Morty theme park thing with the body and the old dude. And he's like dressed up as Santa. And his body gives out. But I just it's a good thing we didn't do a show last week because I was a mess on Sunday. And it's amazing how when allergies come up, all of a sudden everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a story. At the club, D, our good buddy D, who's in there like all the time. Hey D, what's up? D immediately comes at me with a story. He got the allergy test. He found out he's allergic to egg whites. This guy, the in the gym 5 days a week.
Wow, egg whites,
and he loves eggs. Loves eggs. Allergic to egg whites.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah, they'll get you. They really will.
Interesting.
But enough of my sinuses and my thing. Yeah, because it's sinuses and it got into the throat.
So he's the only guy that gets to eat just the yolks.
Yeah, I guess
and those are the ones you're supposed to.
There goes your cholesterol.
Oh, wow.
So he's going to be on statins for the rest of his life.
Win one, you lose one there.
But enough of allergies.
Doctor's appointments. We got a whole bunch of slew of stuff. Do you ever wonder, since we're not done with yet, every building going up now is a medical building?
That's because we're all falling apart.
That's because they know that there's money to be made with all these sick patients. There's lots of us. We're all sick in some way, but they're making tons of money. Medical industry is pretty secure.
Okay, you want to go straight to conspiracy theories? Okay. Well, the reason why they don't want to do anything that has to do with greening or anything to do with climate change and cleaning up pollution is because they know that the pollution causes respiratory problems and it makes you have to go to the doctor more often. And the doctors want to make sure that you stay sick, so the doctors like pollution. So and COVID-19 and vaccines are fake.
100%. Yeah, was that a Simpsons episode? I think that was on Simpsons.
Hey man, let me tell you. The bus driver. What is the bus driver's name?
I don't remember.
But and by the way, I'll give away one of my new jokes. By the way, for everybody who's you anti-vaxxers out there who think if you get the vaccine you're going to get tracked by the government, your life isn't that interesting. Nobody in the NSA is sitting in front of a computer clicking on the tracker for Daryl, who delivers pizza for Papa John's. Nobody. What are you doing today? Who's on your list? Well, let's see. I got Daryl, who's delivering pizza at Papa John's. I've got Karen, who's bothering the manager over at Whole Foods, and nobody cares. So let's just get that straight. All right, now on to sports. What do you got? I didn't prepare. What do you got?
We got sports.
we got all kinds of sports.
There's football, isn't there? There's always football.
Well, there's always football, but wait. Now, first of all, the big story, and we're talking about Major League Baseball, okay? The big story in Major League Baseball is the Yankees suck.
Isn't that something kind of cool, though.
They're horrible.
Everybody has to have a villain. The Yankees are obviously, if you're from New York,
They look like the
Yankees.
Marlins 5 years ago. Remember when the Marlins wheeled out? They wheeled out 6 or 7 superstars in their lineup, 4 great pitchers, and they just came right out and just ate crap.
Yeah, they're laying an egg.
They just laid an egg. I mean, they had who was the manager? They had Ozzie Guillen was their manager, was it, or Ozzie?
What are we talking about?
Guillen? No,
he
talking
was
about the
the
Marlins.
Oh, the Marlins?
Well,
Yeah, for a year.
Yeah, they opened up that new
for a
stadium,
year.
and and he said something snarky about Castro,
Yeah,
and
see ya.
that's
You're
all
out.
for you, pal.
Yeah, thanks
It's
for
By
coming.
the way, you're in Little Havana.
Yeah. Plus, the Yankee fans showed their ass a few games ago. Remember
Yeah.
they on the stands throwing baseballs into the stands and
yeah.
other artifacts? Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, great job, Yankee fans. All 40 of them that were there because of COVID restrictions.
It didn't matter. They were pissed.
No.
They were pissed.
They're like blonde guy, green shirt, row 6, threw a baseball. It's like, really?
And of course, you're in the Bronx, so he's like, yeah?
Yeah.
What
are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Yeah, it's like if
You
you're
know
gonna-
who I am? I'll
Yeah.
make one freaking phone call, and you're done.
Yeah. If you're going to throw stuff from the stands, at least make sure that there's somebody sitting next to you so that at least you got a chance. It was him. It wasn't me. It was him.
And it wasn't even a game ball. It was like a chewed-up ball from like 1992.
Probably. Signed by Paul O'Neill. Yeah,
My God.
Yeah, so it was a Paul O'Neill ball. Yeah, so.
Paul O'Neill sucked too.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Yankees are really
Yankees
struggling.
are horrible.
My pick to click, the Blue Jays are not. Those young guys are hitting the ball.
Yikes.
And guess what? They opened against the Yankees. Like the first 8 of the first 12 games they had were against the Yankees, and they took care of
Vlad
business.
Jr. hit one out like 468 yesterday.
Those kids can hit. Bo Bichette.
Ooh.
We talked about these are the guys that were
The
the
legacies.
ex-major.
All the legacies.
Bichette, Guerrero, Biggio. They're all on that team. I think it's great. So, yeah, they're playing really well. Ryu has been pitching phenomenal. I pumped him up a few weeks ago. Big KBO start to his career. Came over from the Korean Leagues, like 2.5 ERA. His major league numbers in 80 or 90 starts, he's a sub-3 guy ERA. He's had some tough opponents. He's faced the Yankees twice. I think he beat them both times so far. So, yeah, Toronto right now, I mean, Yankees, I don't think they're going to struggle the entire season. They'll right the ship. But
they dug themselves a big hole.
Well, again, and it's not just Toronto. Tampa's going to be viable.
Well, what are they? 6 games under 500 now, right? 7 games under 500.
Yeah,
they're horrible.
And
even the Marlins are 500.
Listen, we're not even in May. Okay,
I know.
It's early.
I know, but I just.
I know it's fun. It's fun. It's fun. Listen, the Yankees are.
I'm trolling the crap out of Jake right now. Jake's watching this. He's sitting in the parking lot at the club, and he's watching this on his phone. Hey, Jake, what's up? Nothing but love, big shot. How you doing?
Ditto.
We know the Yankees are going to right the ship. There's too much talent there. There's just too much.
Is good.
But the Red Sox have been surprising as well.
They got smacked the first week they played Baltimore. But just like the Marlins, how they've gotten hot over the last 7-8 days, Boston did too. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But again, Boston, their pitching depth is not very good, and their offense is a little bit thin.
No.
So we'll see. I mean, they've got Devers, they've got Martinez. Those guys had big weeks. I think
they got their cheater manager back.
Yeah, great job. So, by the way, F the Astros.
We're not even going to talk about your division, Astros.
Yeah, so F the Astros.
You want to swing it out west? Let's swing it out west because I'm telling you right now that Dodgers-Padres rivalry is as hot as it has ever been in the history of those two teams.
A little bench clearing incident during one of the games over the weekend, too. So we like to see teams not like each other that have to face each other.
Hot. That's
good stuff.
Hot stuff.
Listen, San Diego's spending spree has been working so far.
Yeah, you spend your way up to the big boys.
They're doing it. They're viable. They're winning games. Their pitching is good. They're hitting the ball. Tatis is hurt now. They're obviously there.
He's back. No, he's back. He had a dinger the other day.
No, 10 days. 10 days. He was hurt because he pulled.
Right. He just came back. He just came back.
But I'm saying they were playing well without having Tatis in the lineup.
By the way, did not take his left hand off or his right hand off the bat.
No, this time.
Yeah, he's holding on to that bat both hands now.
Well, listen, young guy. I mean, kind of. I'm not saying a freak injury, but still not a good one. Those intercostal strains, and all those abductor strains. Those things can linger.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, those things can go on for a while. So hopefully that's not the case with him. But he's 22. I think he's going to heal just fine.
Right. Listen, I've been there, done that. Okay, in pro wrestling, there's the hip toss, and then there's something called the Beal toss. Which, being a really big dude like I was at the time, or I am at the time, you take a guy from the corner and you hook him underneath his armpit and you take like a skipping jump and then you hype him like that, right? Mm-hmm. And I did it to a guy who had to be about 260, 270. And he's the one that called it. He was a veteran, right? And I back him in the corner and I chop him and pound on him and he's like, give me the Beal. I'm like, okay. So I go and I give him the Beal, and he must have had a 12-inch vertical. Even I have a better than a 12-inch vertical. Dude could not. He felt like he had an elevator. I mean, a refrigerator in his ass. So I went to go yoke him over, and he's supposed to hop, and we're supposed to get the whole thing over big. Right. And he went like here. It looked like a graduated hip toss almost. Thank God he got his head over. I dumped him right on his head. But I felt something go, and I was like, okay.
What do I do? Keep going.
Keep going. Yeah. Oh, you keep going. And I had like a lat and a shoulder blade thing for like a month.
Oh, it's the worst.
And it was like, and that's kind of like what he did because, he's right-handed, but when he let his arm get around like this, and he let go of the bat, and he just ripped that whole thing sideways up like this. I had a weight strain tear this way. He just had a torque tear that way, so that had to hurt.
Well, these guys are using those muscles. They're swinging every day.
They're like crazy.
Yeah, what's funny is him being 22, being able to heal so quickly.
Yeah, rub some dirt on it, walk it off.
Yeah, we get those injuries from yawning. I wake up now and I yawn.
Don't make me laugh. You're going to make me cough.
And it's like, was that an abductor strain? So yeah, it's quite different now.
I got to call into work. I can't go to work.
I yawned twice. So that's not good. Listen, Padres, Dodgers. It's good to have a team that looks like they're going to be competitive. With the Dodgers.
It's good. It's must-watch baseball.
It's good young players that may not like each other, which is good for the sport.
I mean, I'm sitting there. Listen, I'm sitting there and I'm watching Baseball Night in America, or whatever. I'm watching ESPN. It's like 11:30 at night. It's like, okay, watch baseball team. Watch baseball game, fall asleep. No, I'm like, yeah. I mean, and I'm cheering for both sides because it's really good baseball. So,
and that's good for us too because we work in a nighttime environment.
Right.
So from 10 o'clock on, you still have something to watch on
and
TV.
You being a fantasy baseball nut, I'm sure you got guys on both teams.
Yeah, you know what? It's as a fan, like you're saying, it's good just to watch it. But no, fantasy, there's value on both sides.
Right.
So,
all right. Well, let's take it down south here to our hometown Marlins. Bravo to Donnie Baseball for righting the ship.
1-6 start, and looks like, here we go again with the Marlins. But patience, long season. The players want to continue with their 419-game season, so this is going to go on.
And extra innings heroics.
Yeah, they've gotten some contributions from a few different guys. The pitching has been decent this year.
Yeah,
the bullpen's been better this year. We talked about that prior to the show. I
am bearish on the bullpen right now. I'm not happy with them.
But
maybe it's just me. The 4 or 5 games that I've watched on TV, okay, the bullpen, especially the middle reliever guys, have just come out and just stunk.
You know what?
Surrendered the lead.
The taste in your mouth for the Marlins bullpen is equivalent to like an aftertaste of bad medicine. It's like you're like, that taste makes your eyes.
It doesn't feel like it's going to be better for me down the road.
But
down the road,
I will say it's tough to go against the numbers. We broke it all down.
Yeah.
Let's just do Marlins bullpen right now, which has been their glaring weakness for several years. They're in the top third overall in a lot of the counting stats. I talk about FIP and XFIP, which are just fancy terms to better calculate or assess pitching staffs in terms of their overall values, not just ERA. But anyway, Marlins are like maybe 8th or 9th best when it comes to bullpen FIP. That's a strong indicator of a pitcher's and a team's success. Other counting stats for pitching, batted ball, they talk about ground ball rates, fly ball rates, strikeout rates, walk rates, again, across the board. Marlins are probably just about the top third. So it's not the bullpen that's been the issue for the
batting
Marlins.
Order.
They just don't have a thumper, a consistent guy. They go with, usually leading off, it's been, and who led off yesterday for them? I don't know, but they backed it up with
It's been Birdie?
No, I don't think he's been leading off, but Anderson's been hitting fourth, Aguilar's been second. Sterling Marte's been hitting second.
Yeah, Marte's been hitting second. He's been on base a lot. His OBP is crazy.
He's hitting over 300. His on base is like 380. He's got a stolen base.
They can't keep him off base.
He's decent in the field. Listen, he's been in the league a while. He's a guy. He was a great buck
There's
for
a
many
reason
years.
Why they picked up his option.
Listen, it was him and McCutcheon in the outfield for the Bucks, and like they always do, just let go all their talent. Another guy they get rid of that throws a no-hitter.
Right,
Joe Musgrove. But anyway, speaking of the players, but no, listen, if you want to be a good pitcher, leave the Pittsburgh organization, go to another team, and you become an all-star.
Well, go to the Pittsburgh organization for about 5 minutes and then leave.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, just stop there for a short time. Collect a check or two, and then all of a sudden get traded or whatever, leave, and you're an all-star.
Right. Well, I mean, listen, though, that lineup has got a lot of exciting young players like Jazz Chisholm. Jazz Chisholm is really, really coming on,
yes.
Even with his blue hair.
Yeah.
But
they do have young guys like that. They got
Aguilar.
pitching.
I love it. I'm a big Aguilar fan.
He's a big swing and miss guy, but he's powerful, and he's a guy that, again...
He's Mr. Personality, too.
He in a lineup, that's a guy that can... He's a 5'6" guy. Again, he's not going to be a big on-base guy, but he's going to drive runs in and give him the opportunity.
You know what? Along with that, you know what else he is? He's a big talking guy. Okay, he'll line a single, and during his run down to first base, he'll give the opposing bench the business a little bit. He'll have a little chirp for him as he's going down, even in Spanish, English, it doesn't matter. He's got something for everybody.
His personality reminds me a little bit of Cabrera's personality.
Yeah.
If you want to go back and you want to just laugh, go back and take a look at Miguel Cabrera's clips.
Oh, of course.
From all the shenanigans and all the stuff. He was very close, he still is very close with Adrian Beltre. Okay, now Beltre's deal was he didn't like anybody touching his head. He had one of the biggest phobia fears.
Every
and
time.
all the guys would destroy. Like Elvis Andrus and him were best friends. And he would torture him, and Beltre would get visibly pissed. He'd swing on you, literally. He's like, "Get off my head!" And of course, in Spanish or whatever he spoke. But yeah, it's just comical. So Aguilar is that kind of guy. South Florida, I mean, that fits his personality and stuff like that clearly. But again, back to the Marlins.
Say "get out of here" in Spanish is "fuérate." Fuérate.
They need a little more balance on offense. They need a couple of thumpers. Again, this may come. Maybe some of these young guys will develop, but. Pitching is good, and that's not the issue right now. So it seems like they're doing okay. They're playing well over the last 10 days. They're back to 500. Are the Marlins going to be in the talk June, July? My guess, probably not. Overall, I mean, they may be relevant. They're not going to roll over and play dead for anyone. That's for sure. They're going to play hard.
They've developed an identity, and that is a scrappy team that does not give up. They play hard from right out of the gate, right until the last out. They play hard as hell.
You saw that last year when they opened the COVID season decimated.
Right.
They led the league last year in call-ups. They had, I think, 30 or 35 different lineups last year, and in a season where they only played 60 games.
Yep.
I mean, it was the first 3 weeks of the season. They had no one. Everybody was sick.
And who was the manager of the year last year?
Yeah. So it does say
deservedly
something.
so.
Clearly, yeah.
Would that be the making chicken salad out of chicken crap?
Pretty much, yeah.
Award of the year.
And it was an expanded format. Not taking it away from him.
Doesn't matter though. He has.
That was
Don Mattingly. Donnie Baseball has put his imprint on this team finally, after about 5 or 6 years. He's really put his imprint on this team, and it's because he has an ownership and a front office that has a bit of stability to it.
And the same mindset, probably.
And the same mindset.
Because they came from the same loins, clearly. Yes. So that that helps when everybody's driving in the same direction. Certainly that does help.
That Cashman Yankee way.
Listen, Dolphins got it right starting 2 years ago. You see what they've done. They've got all the pieces in the right place. South Florida,
I can do nothing but smile about the Dolphins right now.
I told you that 2 years ago. And maybe the Marlins are starting to do that. Baseball takes longer because there's a lot more holes to fill, clearly.
Right.
And there's a lot more variables that come into play that can negatively affect you.
Well, but the beauty of baseball is you can fill some of them holes with money. Effectively fill some of them holes with money.
Yeah, but outside twice in 30 years, the Marlins
still you can fill them holes with money.
Right, but that won't be the plan for the Marlins, not even in the short term.
I don't know. They renamed the stadium. Was it Lone Depot Stadium now?
Yeah.
Well, so and by the way, I think I can get an invitation for us to go to see the Marlins next Sunday. Is it, Russ?
I'm not sure. It's when the Mets comes.
Oh, you're fired. Okay. Next month? Okay, next month. Whatever it is. But we got a line on some tickets, by the way, so I may get you an invitation.
Thank you.
So they have.
I don't know much about baseball. I'll just sit there and.
Just sit there and drool.
I'll drive if you need me to.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so they renamed the stadium to put the naming rights of Lone Depot, and they're getting a bit of revenue from that.
Okay.
And they're saying that some of that revenue can be, put towards signing free agents. And as you said, their lineup needs one thumper. Really needs one thumper, because we see what the positive effect of having one thumper is on the guys in front of them and the guys behind them.
Yeah.
And the lineup as a whole. So
it lengthens the lineup for sure, and it makes your guys takes a little pressure off everybody in that lineup.
Yeah,
for sure. So
and if you put a thumper behind Adam Duvall right now, who's having an Adam Duvall season. He does what he does. He is who he is. Okay, you put Duvall at 3, Marte at 2, and then a half decent leadoff guy, and then a thumper behind all of that. Ooh,
yeah,
ooh.
But again, it's other factors. It's defense. It's the starting pitching staff continuing to develop. They're young.
The defense is solid. Okay, the defense is solid. I mean, that's the reason why a light hitting guy like Jazz Chisholm, he was immediately plugged in because his defense is great. Okay, Garrett Cooper, defense is fantastic.
Yeah, those guys can play.
Okay, those guys can vacuum up that ball. Okay, so there's no doubt that the mentality is there, and the imprint and the personality of the team matches their ownership and their management. So it's a beautiful thing. We're heading in a positive direction.
Shocking news coming out of Washington Nationals. Steven Strasburg has been placed on the 10-day injured list.
Only 10 days?
Well, that's the 10-day injured list with inflammation. That's the first step these teams take is
to determine if you broke something.
In 10 days, they figure out how many more days it's going to be. That guy's been so good in spurts, but I think when it's all said and done, when you look at his career, you're going to say, man, he was so good and so talented. And they're going
but he broke down.
They're going to show clips of him in spots dominating. But over the full body of work, it's certainly not going to be enough to get into the Hall. But certainly overall, I don't know. To me, it's just a little bit short.
Well, not when you got to take a half a year off here and a full year off there.
And there was a number, and telling you, I remember these crazy stats. At one point, and I'm sure it still applies, when the temperature was above 80 degrees, I think, with Strasburg, he had a losing record. And it's like the dude couldn't pitch it.
I don't like it hot.
He's like, oh, I'm sweating. But maybe it's the other way. It could be cold, could be hot. I'm not sure. I have to go back and look. It'd be weird if it was hot because he came from, where did he go to college? California.
I have no idea.
To Stanford or something. But I'm going to look that up because that's a weird thing. I'm going to find it as we continue on because I need to finish that fact. I can't just give a half a statement.
Well, that's okay. I've gone to see Steven Strasburg pitch against the Marlins twice, and he crushed them both times. So, take a break, sit down, rub some dirt on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, shifting to your Phillies.
Oh, they're playing a little bit at times. It's another lineup that's sneaky good. I like that Alex Boehm kid. He's really good. young prospect.
Young.
Not, I mean, you look at him, he's not physically imposing at all. He's a scrappy, skinny, whatever, hair coming out of his hat looking guy. But the dude, he's got some moxie. He is, I think, 4th or 3rd right now. I think he moved out yesterday in terms of hitting with runnings and scoring position.
Yeah,
dude's leading the team in RBIs.
Yeah,
so and that's
he's got a couple of game winners.
So yeah, he's been clutch. And matter of fact, they're showing a Phillies Braves highlight. There's Freddie Freeman. He's pretty good too.
That guy.
Yeah, the Phillies are playing. Listen, it's tough to look at baseball right now, even go through the divisions. I mean, certain teams that are good. Dodgers are good. The Padres obviously have spent some money. They're good. The Braves are viable. They've got talent. So who the teams are that are going to figure in the picture at the end, I think, for the most part. Your surprises, the Marlins playing well, Boston playing well. Where will they fit in when it's all said and done?
Houston.
F Houston. I just think that overall, I think you're going to see come June, which is usually just before the All-Star break, almost in the end of June, let's say, where you look at now the divisions and go, oh, yeah, wow, the Dodgers, we knew who they were. The Padres are still playing well. The Phillies, the Braves, the Nationals now with the injury, the Strasburg, and they're a little thin on the pitching staff. Where's that division going to shake out? Will the Marlins, will they continue and get hot and stay hot, into, let's say, May? Marlins are 5-6 games over 500 at the end of May, and they're 3 games out. Are they viable? So that division right there, to me, it's a crapshoot. I give the edge to the Braves just because when you have one of the best 2-3 players in baseball on your team that plays every day, like Ronald Acuna, that dude's amazing. He's amazing. Can do it all.
Yeah, but that 4-game set last week against the Marlins, which, by the way, the Marlins won 3 of 4. Acuna spraying home runs all over that park, all over. They couldn't keep the ball in the park with that kid. But he was their only offense because the Marlins went after Freddie Freeman. The Marlins kept everybody else down and said, okay, Acuna, you want to go ahead and hit dinger after dinger? That's a lot of solo home runs. Good for you.
Those solo home runs don't necessarily hurt you unless you have, back-to-back to back.
I think Marcelo Ozuna had a couple, too. It's like, those solo home runs. Oh, good. Very nice. Good. And now you're only down 4-1.
Yeah, very good.
Way to cut into the lead. So the philosophy is there, and that is don't let anybody get on base in front of him. Really pitch as hard as you can. Take your chances with them, but don't take any chances with the players in front of them. Don't let them walk. Strike them out. Make them put the ball in play. Let your defense do the work, and it's been working fantastic. Now, I mean, in the final in the getaway game, the 4th game, they played Atlanta's game there, which was try to outscore us. I dare you. Try to outscore us. And Atlanta just ding, ding, ding. That Freeman's bat came alive in that game. I mean, so it happens. It's going to get away from you. But what they're going to have to do with Cunha, that's got to be a dirty word in Spanish, Cunha.
Probably. Depends how you say it.
The way I'm saying it, it's a dirty word.
Depends where you hang.
Great young player,
Amazing
but
player.
Rivalry-wise, I hate you. Te odio.
Yeah. Well, listen, but being a Phillies fan,
massive respect. He's really, really good.
Being a Phillies fan my whole life, all I did was for 12, 14 years, I think, look up at the Braves.
Hate them.
I think 90 to about 2002.
Oh no! I go farther back. Okay, let's remember that there didn't used to be baseball here, and I used to be a Dodgers fan. I used to be a big Dodgers fan.
Wow.
Okay, Steve Garvey, Ron Say.
Oh no, I appreciate
the whole
yeah,
nine.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Oral Hershiser.
Oh yeah.
Okay, hated the Braves. Hated them, and I was so glad we had TBS because I could watch the Dodgers and the Braves. Especially when they were in L.A. late at night, I could see that all the time.
Yeah, WGN too. You got to watch the Cubs play too. Also, Harry Carey
with Horner
Dodgers.
And Murphy and all those.
Loved it.
Bums. I hated those guys. So I've hated the Braves for a very long time.
I never liked that pitching staff. I hated Smoltz, even though I really like him now.
Oh, Smoltz and Maddux.
Maddux and Avery and Glavine. Glavine, to me, you just wanted to punch him in the face. It's like It's just he just his smug look. You just wanted to punch him in
very,
the face.
very, very businesslike.
Yeah. Now again, those guys are probably all great. Maddux is a great guy. They're all John Smoltz. I love on MLB Network. He's so insightful, and he calls games. He's really good too.
Yeah,
really insightful. That dude's
yeah.
really smart.
Oh,
so
yeah.
and he's a scratch golfer.
And he's a good golfer
This dude's
too.
cool. Yeah, I want to hang out with John Smoltz.
You
Sorry, John.
Now you want to hang out with
Sorry,
him.
John.
You hated him for a while.
Your
but
buddy
now
Tommy, I still want to punch him in the face, but you're cool. I like you a lot. So, yeah. But no, the Braves, I know for my reasons too, are just constantly those guys. Well, first of all, Maddux's strike zone. Today's strike zone has that box that you see on TV.
Right.
Yeah. No, not for Maddux.
No.
Maddux's strike zone was that box, add a third, raise it 30%, slide it to this way, depending on where his changeup went. He never threw a ball that started in the strike zone, Maddux.
No.
That was the beauty of what he did. The dude never threw over 90 miles an hour in his career.
Right.
And destroyed everybody. Okay, strikeouts, 300 wins,
Ball
pitch
moving
forever.
all over the place.
You give him the ball every fifth day. The dude never missed a game, pitched for 44 years. I mean, the guy was amazing.
How does the ball start here, then go this way, and then like that at the end of the motion? It's here, and it's a screwball.
The game has changed. Listen, I see guys now throwing the ball like there are guys. I was
102 miles an hour.
Listen, there are two guys in particular. One guy's a Mariner, and the other guy is not even Chapman. Chapman got one to 101 this year, but he's backed off a bit.
You're one of those kids for the Tampa Bay Rays.
It was a lefty. Yeah, there's a lefty that throws 102. And these guys are just bringing it. And Dustin, have you seen Dustin May's two-seam fastball? That thing moves a foot, 2 feet, and it's at 99 miles an hour. These guys
if it
are
moves
sick.
towards you, you run away.
Oh, you don't have time. It's on you in 0.6 seconds. I mean, it's insane what these guys do. But I digress. Maddux at 87 was doing that and making batters look stupid.
87 years old.
And, well, that too. And just looked, I mean, made guys look very, 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 very weak.
Pedestrian.
Yeah, and just he dominated. And all those guys did for so long. So, yeah. But, again, mad respect for them now for sure. When you're looking up and your team is always losing to them, you're a little bit unhappy.
Yeah.
Now you understand how it works. Those guys deserve all the credit they got. So.
Okay, well, moving on to the NFL. I mean, we were going to move on to the NBA, but the NBA is still kind of sorting it out. You know, I mean, the
3 weeks left.
The triage unit is very active in the NBA. There's a lot of superstars down, a lot of superstars going out.
Yeah, Davis is now
Donovan Mitchell.
Jamal Murray. Big one for Denver. Big one for Denver. They can't keep those guards healthy. I mean, they've been fighting Gary Harris.
It's because you put the whole team on their back for crying out loud.
Well, at least they got a center that can also move the ball. He can play point, I guess. He does about everything.
And we've had some mid-season retirements. How does that work?
Financially, or just like out of the blue type stuff?
No, I mean, God, why can't I remember his name right now? The guy who just retired for Brooklyn, played with Portland for forever.
Oh, LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yes, LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yes.
I've been using his acronym name.
I wasn't sure where you were going with this.
The LMA. I've been using that for forever. But
yeah, but you know what?
He had a heart thing.
Yeah, heart murmur is what it was.
Okay.
Yeah. But here's the thing: how did he get traded without passing the physical? I mean, don't they run physicals in the NBA like they do other sports too?
They did run physicals, but I don't think they do like a complete cardio exam.
Why would they not? I mean,
I don't know.
It's only a vital organ.
And it literally happened. Like, what did he play? One game for them?
A couple, maybe.
A couple of games.
Yeah.
It could have literally happened. It presented itself afterwards.
Maybe, I guess.
Guys
all of a sudden, I got a pain in my chest,
but we're still waiting on LeBron to come back, which is about 2 weeks away.
Anthony Davis is now starting to practice.
He's starting to practice,
but who cares? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
By the way, Lakers just beat Utah in overtime.
Yep.
They're going to be fine. They're going to make the playoffs.
Yep.
They still have the best two players on the planet on the same team. And, oh, by the way, one of them happens to be one of the greatest players of all time and still is, so they'll be fine. They're the Lakers. By the way, they play defense, so
right,
which you don't see much in the NBA. So, yeah, don't worry about them.
But is the final matchup going to be the Lakers versus Brooklyn?
Not according to Ben Simmons. You want to hear what he had to say?
Well, obviously, he thinks it's going to be Lakers versus Philly.
Yeah, and I backed that up, I think, a little bit. And here's why. Again, we talk about defense. The Sixers also play defense, which is a rarity in the Eastern Conference, no surprise. It used to be not that way. It used to be the Eastern Conference was defense and the Western Conference was up and down the court.
Their last game against El Heat, by the way, I believe the final score was in the low 90s.
They play defense.
It was like 94, 91.
It's a rarity, but they do. So Simmons' comment was, when he was asked, they just played Brooklyn, too, last week, a few days ago. And the comment to Simmons was, what he thought about the upcoming matchup and how good Brooklyn is and about where it's going to all shake out in the end. And his response was the Lakers. It wasn't even the Nets. It was he deferred immediately
Total
to
troll job.
who he thought is the best team in the NBA. And
at least he didn't say who.
Yeah, the team to beat. So, and then he backed it up by saying that, and this was where he did go back to taking a shot at Brooklyn. He said, there is only one ball. So, regardless of how many guys you put on the court that are that good, only one guy gets to shoot it at a time, which makes sense. And again, confidence from the defensive perspective. He alluded to the fact that, hey, guess what? They got to come through Philly. We play some defense over here.
Yeah.
So we'll like to see how that goes. Now, we've said it. I've said it. When you have, in that situation, when we talked about Davis and James being the two best players on the court at any given time, when you put the other two guys in Embiid and Simmons on the court, now you got maybe 4 of the fast 5, 6 guys in the NBA. Those two guys aren't something to talk about lightly either. At any point, Simmons is the best athletic player on the court. That dude's a freak. And Embiid's matchup proof. So, and he's a guy that has shown you during the year has been 35-15 when you need him to be. So,
can somebody get Simmons a shooting coach, please?
It's not even that. It's a desire to want to shoot the basketball, I think. He's had time to pick up that part of his game, but off seasons with Disney World and strip clubs and not shooting the ball in the gym would tell you that he is comfortable with who he is. And they have shooters on that team. That's why they went and got Tobias Harris, who can knock down a shot. Danny Green can knock down a shot. They've got a few players on that team that can shoot the ball.
But wouldn't it be nice to have a guy who can bring the ball up the floor and the defense still has to take a half a step forward just to guard against him pulling up for a decent shot at a 3?
I'll throw some names at you of guys that similarly play that style. Jason Kidd never shot the ball, okay, at least not early on in his career. Then he started shooting the ball a little bit on the back end because, again, as the game changed, you would think your guards have to be able to put the ball in the basket too. Yeah. Okay, Chris Paul, another one, great defender. All his career.
Yeah, but he played himself into a good 3-point shooter.
Again, because he's developed that part of his game.
Well, Derek
Simmons
Fisher.
now, year 4, what are we doing? Are we going to consider shooting the ball a little bit more? I think he only averages about maybe 11 shot attempts per game.
Well, Derek Fisher with Shaq and Kobe, of course.
A lot of guys, a lot of examples. But of all those guys I mentioned, at 6'9", 6'9", they probably list him at, realistically, 6'8", 6'9". Dude can jump out of the gym. He can defend any of the positions and can distribute and is athletic as anybody that plays that position. So, again, he's not shooting the ball. I get it. You'd like him to shoot the ball. But when the Sixers are winning games in the 90s, not a lot of guys got to take shots as long as they can shoot the ball efficiently and they can play good team defense, which is what they do.
And long arms get it done.
Yeah, defense.
All right. Wait, listen. Let's get off of basketball because I would like to get these 21 minutes in. I know we're going to at least do 10 minutes on aliens.
Oh, boy.
So
June 1st.
Before we get to the aliens, before we get to June 1st,
yeah, it's a big day.
Let's get to speculation season.
Oh, we got a draft coming up.
NFL.
There's a draft coming up.
We are 11 days away now, 12 days away, 11 days away. It's not this coming Thursday, but next Thursday.
Yeah, whatever the next Thursday would be.
And the eye of Sauron, the spotlight, is focused specifically on number 4, the Atlanta Falcons.
What do they do?
What do the Falcons do?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Trade down. Trade down. They got Matt Ryan still. The quarterback
2 good years
position,
left, 3 good years left.
Nah, whatever it is. New coach, new system, same weapons. Still
Arthur
Ryan.
Smith.
We'll see how that works. I don't think that they keep that spot. They keep 4.
Well, listen, the most recent, newest speculation is due to their head coach, Arthur Smith, okay, a guy who has a fondness for tight ends. The big smoke being blown now is that's where Kyle Pitts will get picked.
At 4.
At 4.
Okay.
Which I think is bananas.
Bad?
Yeah, bad.
Oh.
Just dumb.
What makes the difference if he goes at 6 to the Dolphins? Why is it so much worse for the Falcons? If they're keeping the quarterback and giving him weapons and a new system, we know Pitts is can't miss.
Oh no, and here is where I will give the speculators their due. Okay, because I think it's a clown show from here right now. Okay, it's been a clown show for a month right now. Okay, this guy, that guy, mock draft this, Mel Kiper. Mel Kiper's 4.0 is mock draft 4.0 had the Miami Dolphins trading up, swapping picks with the Atlanta Falcons to move up to 4
From 6.
from 6.
Okay. Why?
To draft Kyle Pitts. Okay, essentially Mel Kiper is saying that Chris Greer has suddenly become an idiot, and instead of keeping all that draft capital that he has pulled 2 amazing jiu-jitsu moves for a
tackle
to move up to exactly
for a tackle
to move up and get all this draft capital and put himself in the number 6 position and gain another first-round draft choice, that he is going to make the mistake and go against tendency, okay, against his philosophy, and he's going to burn some of that accrued draft capital, move up 2 spaces.
Yeah, I don't see it.
For a tight end.
Here's the thing. If Jacksonville doesn't move, okay, it would make sense that they would be in line for Pitts. Because, like we said, Ryan's sticking
Atlanta.
around. I'm sorry, Atlanta. They would definitely be in the position to take a guy that's going to help Matt Ryan. It's going to help that offense. And it makes perfect sense.
Kyle Pitts would be a great pick right there.
Listen, Kyle Pitts is going to be, whatever team he goes to, he's going to be there for 12 years. He's going to be an all-pro. He's going to whatever. Okay.
You're getting another guy.
Know that.
You're getting a guy who is the size of Julio Jones.
We know that about Kyle Pitts.
You're essentially getting another Julio Jones.
But the speculation, if we continue it, is what do they do? If they go that route, they're keeping Ryan. If they keep the pick, they're can potentially
Ryan for 2 more years either way.
But they can still potentially go get a quarterback if they wanted to also.
Right, but Arthur Smith is not an idiot. Or maybe he is an idiot. Well, we're going to find out if he's an idiot. Okay, we're going to find out if the new brain trust in Atlanta is dumb. We're going to find that out, because what we saw of Matt Ryan last year and the year before, there's no drop-off in that arm strength.
No.
There's no drop-off in that fire.
No, he's not
hobbling. He's not a hobbling old man.
Listen, Matt Ryan's not going to keep you from winning a Super Bowl.
Right.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Okay, so let's just plan on moving forward with Matt Ryan. I mean, remember the end of the season, when the season ended and before they hired Arthur Smith, there was all this speculation. They're going to trade Julio. They're going to trade Matt Ryan. They're going to start over. They're going to burn it down to the ground. They're going to blow it up. And then Arthur Smith came in and said, hey, whoa. I can work with them. Okay, Matt Ryan is fine by me.
Yeah, they've been a second-half team, though, for the last couple of years. They've always started slow, and then they're out of the picture, and they start talking about the trading.
Right.
They go on a 5-game winning streak, and things start to line up again, and they're like, oh, wow, maybe they can win some games.
Well, I spent a lot of time watching the NFL Network, especially from some of the games last year. You know, they've got they had the Dolphins Cardinals and the Dolphins Chargers yesterday. I taped Dolphins Chargers. I watched Dolphins Cardinals, but I also watched Atlanta Minnesota. That did not look like a washed up old quarterback to me.
No, he can still play.
You know, I mean, and Julio, if he's healthy, he's Julio freaking Jones.
Yeah. I mean, touchdown numbers have been down a little bit over the years, but he still catches 90 balls.
Right.
So, yeah.
You know, and it's not like they've got a bunch of nobody, sissy Marys at other wide receiver spots, too.
Calvin Ridley's pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. I think he's also a 1. So, it's nice to have 2 ones
Yeah,
on the outside.
another Bama product, right?
And Russell Gage, they've got weapons on offense, so that's not the issue. They got to get their running backs healthy, and then the offensive line to protect Matt, and a guy like Pitts only helps that cause.
You trade down, okay? Trade down. You let whoever, Denver, move up to get the guy they want. Maybe even New England move up to 4 and get the guy that they want.
They have to give up a lot.
Right. Let whomever move up to get the guy they want, and then trade down. Hopefully, still in the top half of the first round, and then you go and you get some offensive line help because there's a lot of great offensive linemen in this first round. A lot of great ones.
There's good interior help on both sides.
Rashaan Slater, okay, that guy is a monster. Yeah,
he's pretty good.
Monster. Everybody talk about Penny Sewell. Okay,
he's pretty good too.
He's sure.
Yeah.
I give him all the credit in the world.
Oregon puts out some pretty good offensive linemen.
Right.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Very well fed.
But Rashaan Slater is a monster. 6'6", 330 pounds, and can play all 5. All 5, including center, all 5 spots on the offensive line. Who in Atlanta would go, oh, we got Rashaan Slater. Why do we? Because Rashaan Slater will keep your old quarterback upright, and your old quarterback will be able to complete more passes down the field. And then if you think you have a tight end problem, guess what? There are about 8 good tight ends after Mr. All-World Kyle Pitts.
There's a couple guys out there that are going to contribute right away. What I've noticed about what it seems, at least through the projections, is you have every position covered. You got studs at corner.
Sure.
You got studs at tight end.
Sure.
You got obviously your quarterback picks. You got linebacker studs. All these guys can literally, you can fill 8 positions with the top 10 picks.
Right. I was talking to the guru's guru over here. Okay. I was telling him yesterday. I said, listen, I know every year we see turnover. We see veterans get shuffled off at the end of training camps because there's a crop of new young studs coming in. They're cheaper, they're younger, they're faster, and eventually they turn out to be better. Yeah. Okay, but you are going to have a ridiculous amount of starter quality, excellent football players coming out of this. This is going to be an historic draft. Historic, not just because of the fact that you're going to get 6 quarterbacks drafted in the first 2 rounds, maybe even 7. Okay, if teams are speculating in the second round, day 2, you may even see 2 quarterbacks go there. Okay, but you're going to see a whole mess of quarterbacks, a whole mess of wide receivers, and a whole mess of offensive linemen that you are going to see starting in early September. Starting.
Immediate contributions.
And there's going to be a massacre of high-priced veterans at the end of training camp, at the end at that 2-week span from the 3rd preseason game to the first regular season game. You're going to see some very large, big names get cast off. And there's going to be some big contracts because some guys got a little too overextended. And that there's going to be 2 cap casualty periods. June 1st, when we find out about the aliens, and you get some cap casualties.
Careful.
Okay, you're right. Exactly.
Yeah, slow down.
There's a dirty word in there somewhere.
Dollar in the jar.
Dollar in the jar.
Dollar in the jar.
And at the end of preseason, you're going to see guys getting cut because the talent level. I mean, everybody just speculates. Oh well, once you get after the 15th pick in the first round, you're rolling the dice. It's really a gamble. We've seen a lot less of that in the last couple of years, and now this year we have got guys that are grading out on a ridiculous level.
Well, it's clear
talent is concerned.
Teams are acquiring stockpiles of picks for a reason.
For a reason.
1, it increases their chances of hitting.
And it's not just financial.
But no, it's 2, they realize that there's a lot of talent out there, and the more guys they can put on their roster, they have a better chance of being successful. It's a numbers game. So listen, college football is doing okay. They're putting out
Trey
some talent.
Lance is the guy. Let me tell you right now, okay, out of all of these guys that are coming out here, okay, in the draft, okay, the team that if they take a flyer on Trey Lance and they sit his butt down and they like Kansas City did with Patrick Mahomes, they're going to get a Patrick Mahomes.
Give me a quarterback, and we've talked about this before, out of a school like North Dakota State.
Yeah.
As opposed to a quarterback from, let's say, Alabama. Okay.
Okay.
And we've argued this, and I've argued this.
I feel like you're taking a shot at me, but okay.
No, not in any way. I'm just saying.
I'm a Tua guy now.
Well, no. And I listen, there are exceptions to the rule, at least you hope so. But overall, when you put people in situations where everything is easy, including what their accomplishments are or what they're trying to accomplish. Hey, Russ. If you're going to get this shot, you got to have an opinion. Again, the easy road doesn't really lead to, them having to work necessarily hard for success. When you're the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, when everybody's open by 10 yards,
when you have the what is the name of the best offensive line in college football award? Alabama's won that 3 of the last 4 years.
When you have first rounders all around you playing against guys that aren't first rounders,
2 Outland Trophy winners in the last 4 years.
Give me North Dakota State's quarterback. 9 times out of 10. Give me the guy that comes from the small school, the guy that has to bust his ass for the entire time.
A guy who can make chicken salad out of chicken crap.
Exactly. The guy who's throwing to 2 5'8" wide receivers.
Right.
Every play. Give me that guy. Trey Lance may not be that much of a reach in terms of a guy that you think is going to be successful in the first round. He's not the popular guy. He's not sunshine. But again, when most of these guys, and I say most accurately because that's what history tells you,
right,
not only don't hit value in the first round, but fail miserably in the first round, mostly at the quarterback position, you want to start to find a lot more intangibles on the checkbox positive side than you do a guy that just puts up, gaudy numbers. Because anybody in college can put up gaudy numbers. Guys that have won Heisman Trophy winners fail miserably in the NFL. Tim Tebow.
Sure. Tim Tebow.
There are a lot of stories that play out that way. So
listen, we know there's tons of guys that have won the Heisman Trophy that have been horrible in the NFL. But what you're seeing out in out in North Dakota State is they're starting to fire out some good quarterbacks. Okay, it didn't just start with Carson Wentz. There were guys before that too, but we know that the quarterback business in the NFL is a bit numbers driven.
Well, they're running.
There's just so many positions to go around.
But you go back and you look at the guys that are successful. It's the mid-conference guys, the Mid-American Conference guys, the Miami of Ohio, as we've talked about it, North Dakota State.
Ben Roethlisberger.
There's a lot of guys though. There's a whole list of them. We went through.
But listen, Carson Wentz coming out of North Dakota State, by the way. Okay, Carson, even though he's had a bad run of it the last couple of years with injuries and with the implosion of that front office, that coaching staff in Philadelphia, we're talking about a guy who was at one point on an NFL MVP pace. We're talking about a guy who was kicking a lot of butt.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was about to take his team to a Super Bowl victory.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So
probably would have.
That's the reason he's going to be a big comeback player this year. I think he's going to go bananas in Indianapolis.
What I don't like about, since we're talking about Carson Wentz real quick, is the locker room stuff that I heard after. And you always get. I mean, listen, I don't buy into all of it because again, it's easier to talk about somebody once they're gone. So certainly, and it's safer. That too, because you can clearly, either pick a side and be okay with it. But
consider the source.
But teammates are credible too. You have to put some weight in it.
Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey.
Okay, but Carson Wentz, we're talking about. There were some leadership issues they were concerned about. There were some other things that had popped up along the way. So if he fixes the maturity aspect of his game, the above-the-shoulders thing. And sometimes changing sceneries help. Sometimes new coaching
Jeffrey
staffs
and Jackson
help.
are known malcontents.
Yeah. I listen, I'm not
notorious malcontents.
I'm not ready to put him in the ground, Carson Wentz, to do his MVP talent. And he's still, I think, in that light. But he's going to have to reprove himself. Clearly, it's not a given just because you can't rest on your laurels.
Right.
Certainly. New environment, new team, you think he's going to play well. I'm rooting
for the kid. He's going to a team. Listen, he's going to a team in the Indianapolis Colts that they're deep with weapons.
They're better structured. I wouldn't even consider weapons. Philadelphia right now, the Eagles organization is a mess, from top to bottom. Now you're going to an organization that is not a mess. The opposite of a mess. Sound ownership, sound GM, sound coaching, good offensive line, good weapons, decent running game, Jonathan Taylor. Good. Went far last year with a quarterback on half a leg.
Deep at running back.
Went far last year with Rivers on a half a leg. Listen, big move for Carson Wentz. No reason for him to not be successful and the Colts to be good this year. So yeah, I'm pro Carson. I'm pro Colts, pro Carson Wentz.
They've got Mo Alley-Cox and Jack Doyle at tight end. Okay, they are 4 deep at wide receiver, and they're probably in position to draft a wide receiver this year.
T.Y. took a pay cut. He wants to stick around.
Right.
So there's reason for that.
Jacoby Brissett left because he's like they traded for Wentz. I'm not going to get any playing time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Listen, Jonathan Taylor was a beast last year.
And Taylor is going, and now we're going into year 2 now.
Yeah, he was a rookie last year.
Yeah, he was a rookie last year, and he just got better as the year went along.
Yeah.
I'm expecting nothing but monster numbers at him. And their offensive line is one of the best all-around offensive lines in the league.
Very good. So plus for Carson.
Yeah, with Nelson and Costanzo, and I mean, give me a break.
Yeah, they're good. They're very good.
Let's put it this way, okay? If Carson Wentz cannot come back and excel, lead that team to the playoffs, excel.
Yeah, it's going to be hard not to point the finger at him.
Yeah, then it's going to be on him.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to be on him. That's for sure.
Yeah. Environment's everything, though. We say it all the time.
So
fail.
As we get into the draft, just bringing it full circle back to the draft. Okay, so we say that there's several ways that the Falcons can do this right. If you want to stay there and draft Pitts, good.
Yeah.
Then
win.
You got at 4. Okay. If you trade down and still within the top 10, say trade down with Denver, then Denver jumps up and goes and grabs Trey Lance or whoever's left from the big 4.
Yeah, and you probably accumulate not only a few picks later in the draft this year, but probably a first round next year too.
Maybe, maybe if they're desperate enough.
Yeah,
big W.
Yeah,
and then you're at number 9, which you will have your choice of premium players that can help your team, including a Rashaan Slater
or the offensive line, right.
Because you don't need you really don't need wide receivers.
No, it's all about getting the most out of what Matt has left, and protecting him, putting him in the best situation to be successful.
And if you want to go, listen, if you feel like you're a tight end deficient, okay, if you feel like you are tight end deficient, okay, you have a couple of free agent options. B, you have a couple of cheap trade options, including Ertz. He's on the trading block in Philadelphia.
Austin Hooper still, right?
No, Austin Hooper is in Cleveland.
Yeah, he's in Cleveland now. You're right. Sorry.
You could trade Cleveland for Njoku. Or via the draft, day 2, day 3, there are some very, very good tight ends out there. Very good tight ends. So, tight end is going to be another sneaky, deep position in this draft.
Yeah.
So if the Falcons want to do the right thing, they would either draft Pitts, or if they want to go with a future quarterback, they'll draft one of the quarterbacks that they have left, especially if they like him. If it's the guy they like, if it's Fields, if it's Trey Lance or whoever. Or, once again, so they have a lot of good options. Okay, the dumb option is to reach for a different kind of player. Do they need offensive linemen? Maybe. But I don't think Sewell would be the really the cure-all, be-all, the impact that all those other moves would be.
If you're moving down, you're doing so to build a certain weakness.
And I think Arthur Smith wants to build, and he wants to win.
Yeah. So offensive line, because of the depth, I think certainly would be on their radar.
Right.
Because an older quarterback, they're going to be taking that one.
Let's remember when Arthur Smith came to Tennessee with Mike Vrabel, he was the quarterback coach under Matt LaFleur. Okay, and Matt LaFleur, of course, went off to Green Bay. They were about winning right now. Build as we go and win right now. And that's one thing that they did was they won right out of the gate. Mm-hmm. They went 10-6 right out of the gate. They were like, we're not going to just go through a rebuilding process. So I think Smith brings a little bit of that mentality of we got great pieces. We're going to go from there.
Just make it work.
You may want to work on the defense. So it's a real opportunity. I think that Atlanta is going to be aggressive. And once we get to that point where we're at number 5, and the Cincinnati Bungles.
They got to help Burrow.
But this is the only place where drafting Jamar Chase is a mistake. It's a mistake. They're going to try to get the band back together with Burrows and Chase, the guys that won the national championship. They're going to try to put the band back together, and it's going to be a mistake because they don't have a second first-round draft choice. The next time they pick, it's going to be the top of the second round.
Yeah.
Okay, where already all the offensive tackles have been picked through. Okay, Jenkins and Slater and all of those guys are all going to be picked through. They're going to be gone.
Yeah.
They're going to be gone. There are going to be 5 offensive tackles gone in the first round. 5, maybe 6.
They need to get one of them because
they're going to get the 7th best.
They got to get that kid some help. He got hit so many times last year.
2.6 seconds. Quarterbacks need 4 seconds. 4 seconds. If you give any NFL quarterback 4 seconds, they're going to carve you up.
Except for Tim Couch.
Yeah, except for Tim Couch.
He needs 5.
He needs about 8.
Yeah.
But so
I don't know why I thought of Tim Couch, but that just came out of nowhere.
they can
Tim.
only make a mistake at 5 because Sewell, if available, when available, at that pick him. Shut up. Go sit down.
How shameful are you as an organization that you have not only been bad enough to get the 5,
Oh, the Brown family,
but then still in that position be given such little faith to succeed with such a good opportunity as the Bengals do now at 5. You're like, right now, people the people who prognosticate these drafts, who whatever do all this stuff and plan out these things, like a Mel Kiper, who, by the way, I think he's been so bad lately is because all the years of hair products, I think, has seeped into his brain, and I think he's suffered some sort of disease that way. I guess
he's terrible.
He's so bad, but he's everywhere. He gets paid a lot of money. Okay, back to what I was talking about.
Where's my check?
I'm
more accurate.
It's shameful, like I'm saying, that you're given an opportunity and then most people think you're going to screw it up. And I guess what you're saying with the Bengals is because they are the Bengals, that they're going to make a mistake there. They can't. At some point, you have to stop making mistakes, and you have to be able to say, you know what, God, this hasn't worked for so long. Why do we keep doing this? I think they take the tackle at that spot. They have the
anybody other than Sewell or okay. Let's say they get crazy and they go Rashaan Slater, who is an excellent. He's an excellent offensive lineman.
That's what they need.
Okay,
either one of those two guys, and you got to say that they did.
Then they didn't make a mistake.
They did what they needed to do.
They didn't make a mistake.
Yeah.
And then Miami gets to number 6,
and who's left? Is it Pitts? If it's Pitts there, it's he's gone. He's gone. What are they going to take? They going to take Surtain's kid?
No. Oh, actually, the Guru's Guru and I had discussed a scenario.
Oh boy,
where the Dolphins
down.
No,
because they wouldn't lose that.
They
spot.
trade, and as much as I hate to say it, they trade Xavier Howard. They trade Xavier Howard because Xavier Howard is going to make an unreasonable contract demand. He wants a new contract because he knows he's not the third best corner in the NFL.
And it looks like
he's not the second best on this team.
It looks like the Dolphins are going to be spending wisely moving forward. So they're not going to be afraid to cut bait. All right?
So if they can trade Xavier Howard, well, first of all, if they can get a first rounder this year for him, he's gone. Gone. Bye. Gone. Okay, and this may shake down, of all things being possible, it may shake down before the draft. But if they can get, and here's a really good, a real good case scenario is they get a first rounder next year and a second and a what's the round that they're missing in the mids? I think it's the fourth round. Yeah, they get a second and a fourth this year and a first round next year. That's a good package for him.
A lot. Yes.
That's a lot.
A lot.
I'd take it.
Yeah. Shit.
That gives you 3 2s and a 4 that you were out of.
Yeah.
Okay. Then at 6, you take the legacy Patrick Surtain II. You got to take him.
The legacy.
We got to take him. He's a legacy.
I got it.
Okay.
Popular.
And then you hear half the fans in Miami lose their mind, and half the fans they're going to lose it or they're going to love it. As simple as that. And then we're going to hear robble. We didn't get any weapons. We didn't do this. We do that. And then how about a surprise for you? At at number 18, with the 18th pick in the first round, the Miami Dolphins select
a punter,
Terrence Marshall, wide receiver, Louisiana State University. They go get a guy.
They put him out there too.
6'4", 220 pounds, a high point guy, a speed guy, a go get it guy. Okay, he is the same as Jefferson, the guy who came out before him. Okay. You want to give Tua a weapon? That's a weapon.
There's some receivers out there. That, they can get in the second, or even in the second.
In the second round.
Yeah. So
but with the 18 pick, just you go crazy and you go, okay, get a guy we know who's going to translate to the pros. We know he's going to translate to the pros. Okay, because if the Dolphins first of all, they make that trade and they take Patrick Surtain II, Junior. I'm gonna call him Junior.
Yeah, Junior works.
Okay, if they make that trade, which I would hate to see Xavier Howard go. I like him. He's one of my favorite players on the team.
Yeah.
Okay, he is an excellent player.
Mm-hmm.
He is a misunderstood person because of all this turmoil that he's had in his life. Hey, his girlfriend tried to knock him off of his crutches, for crying out loud.
She's a strong girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was on crutches and she tried to kill him.
Yeah, she's not playing around.
So if he goes like that and she falls down, I'm on crutches. So
he didn't hit her with the crutch.
He didn't hit her, exactly. It's not like he socked her one in the nose.
Yeah.
But you lose a guy like that, but you gain Surtain. You gain more draft capital. It's insane. The idea is insane. But you gain more draft capital. Okay, you don't have a big, huge drop-off in quality at the cornerback position. And then you come back at 18, and then you go get a weapon. Okay, or maybe you go get Najee Harris.
I was just going to say.
You get Najee.
It's a reach. Why? First-round running backs. I get it.
I know.
I get it.
But he's Dalvin Cook.
I get it.
He's Dalvin Cook.
You better hope. But the Dolphins have the luxury because they've got
Dalvin Cook.
They've got 6. So to have 18 also and to take a shot if those things fall out like this, you could possibly get the best tight end in the draft and the best running back in the draft in the same draft,
or the best corner.
Well, no, I'm just saying if you go with the running back at that spot, you end up getting the best tight end, the best running back, immediate contributions potentially, and then it's all Tua. Here we go. And that's okay too. So I was just looking at him too. Alabama running backs are pretty good. They have pretty good success in the NFL. There's a few out there now that have played pretty well.
If your last name isn't Richardson.
But that's one actually. That's a bad one.
Has there ever been a more field blind running back? Talking about field vision.
Yeah.
He has been the most field blind running back to ever come out of the University of Alabama that I have seen in my life. They showed an analysis of what was wrong with Trent Richardson, and they show him when
his eyes were closed or were they open?
No, he was playing for Indianapolis. Okay,
so bad.
They show him taking a 7-yard deep handoff. He's got 3 steps. Okay, the offensive line's push went this way at an angle. Okay, the primary hole is here, but the guard and the tackle got such a great push, they ran the linebacker and the defensive end off the ball. Nothing but green on this side of the picture.
And he runs into the pile.
Yeah, and he runs right into where the primary hole was.
I've seen it.
And he does it time and time and time again. It's like, dude, I'm slow. I'm old. I'm fat, and I could make that cut and get 15 yards.
Yeah, his favorite game as a kid growing up was kill the man with the ball. So it was just give him the ball, Paul, get the ball, get the ball, and then just fall down and get tackled. And then tackle dummies on top of him. But that's what he was. No, Dolphins take Najee Harris. That's a good pick for them. Like I said, strong up the middle is good for the Dolphins. If they can get running back depth, a guy like that could be a game changer.
Sure.
Dalvin Cook, I mean, you'd like to think he'd be a Dalvin Cook.
Well, all right, but you want to hear what the reality is? Here's the reality. They'll take Kyle Pitts at 6. They'll take Kyle Pitts at 6.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll come back at 18, and depending on if Micah Parsons has slid that far, which I doubt, then their number 2 option will be Kwity Paye from the University of Michigan. Okay.
Or Junior. Will be there too.
Patrick Surtain?
Yeah.
Surtain isn't going to make it out of the top 15. He'll be lucky to make it to 12.
Okay.
He's not going to go past Dallas.
Okay.
Dallas is at 10. Okay. He is by and large more than Caleb Farley, more than any of the other corners. And by the way, Caleb Farley, he ain't no joke neither.
No,
he got hurt, but he ain't no joke. Okay. He is by far the most talented, prolific, biggest pro-ready corner in this draft. Okay. He's a guy that took Trevor Lawrence to task. He's a guy that confused Justin Fields. Okay, he scared Justin Fields. He scares quarterbacks, no matter how good they are. Okay, you throw to his side one time and he'll get his hands on the ball, and you're like, oh, I'm not going to throw it to him no more. All right, so, but they'll come back at 18 if they get the offensive weapon, because one thing that we've seen with the Dolphins is they balance one to offense, defense. Okay. Last year they went Tua, tackle Jackson, Igbenogany corner, because he was the extra, and Igbenogany was strictly a speed guy.
Right.
Okay. By the way, also called one of the best corner covers that Devontae Smith has ever played against at Auburn. Then they come back with Robert Hunt in the beginning of the second round. And then they go back towards the end of the second round, their second pick in the second round, and they picked up Raekwon Davis, defensive tackle, Alabama. Okay? So to tell you that the Dolphins go back and forth, offense, defense, if they go offense there, they're going to go defense with 18. And then they come back at 36, and then they'll be looking for their running back. And then when they get down to 50, then they're going to be looking for probably – this is where they'll probably repeat if they're whoever slides. They're probably going to take the best player available, and there's going to be so many victims of slides coming up at the end of the second round.
Yeah, well, that's the advantage of having all those picks.
Huge.
Is you get to benefit from other teams.
Raekwon Davis was one of those situations.
Yeah.
Okay, we're talking about a guy who graded out at low-end first-round draft choice status. Okay, low-end first-round draft choice status. He was graded out low-end first round, and he made it to the low-end second 56th pick I think we had last year. Okay, he made it to the bottom end of the second. And of course, I mean, I didn't see defensive tackle being a priority pick for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
But they were like, we can't pass on this guy. 6'6", 320 pounds, an absolute monster.
Yeah, very athletic.
Okay.
Yeah.
And watching, let me tell you what, watching the Cardinals game, he didn't play much first 4 games of the season. Okay, but he's the guy who really could have used
the reps.
He could have used the reps in preseason.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so he got his reps the first 4 games of the season.
Right.
Okay, but once he got into the 5th game, the 6th game, the 7th game, and this was the 7th game against the Cardinals. Okay, he was in that backfield all day.
That's nice.
All day. Chase Edmonds got tired of seeing 98 in his face. He'd take the handoff and right there, 98, right here. Run. It got,
good.
And Kyler Murray got tired of seeing 98 ripping his guard off and reaching for him, and I got to run for my life. Okay, I watched 98, and let me tell you what, you watch 98, especially in that game against the Cardinals, and for the rest of the season, an absolute beast. Savage.
That'll work.
Crazy. He's so good they moved Wilkins out to defensive end. Okay? They got the kid Sealer that the undrafted free agent,
Right.
the kid who lived out of a camper. He's got his own hunting camp up in River
Montana,
Ranches. No, River Ranches, right up here in
Oh,
Central
right here?
Florida.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought he was out there in
He
the
took the
middle of
boys
nowhere.
up there.
That'd go.
But oh God, can you imagine him and Wilkins coming at you with guns? Couple of big,
Good old
beefy,
boys.
good old. Oh, Wilkins is nuts. I love him. But he was so good that they moved Wilkins out to defensive end. They started moving. He made it possible for them to move Wilkins all over, for Christian Wilkins to be all over the place. Okay, that guy, they got him at the end of the second round.
That's big.
So
Yeah.
you're looking for them to draft in balance, and coming back to Najee Harris at 18, because if the Miami Dolphins do not pick Najee Harris at 18, they're going to have to face him twice a year, because at 20. The Jets are going to be sitting there going, I got him. Okay, and if the Jets do something dumb and draft Travis Etienne over Najee Harris, then your boys at 24 are going to be going, oh, look at that.
We need a running back.
And we happen to need a running back.
Yeah, for sure.
How nice of you to let Najee Harris fall to 24.
Yeah, James Conner is not working.
James Conner is now an Arizona Cardinal, so it doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying. He just hasn't worked out.
Yeah, he just didn't work out.
It doesn't work out.
So Najee Harris is not going to make it to number 36.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't go at 18 to the Dolphins, if he doesn't go 20 to the Jets, he's going 24 to the Steelers, and it's just a fact of life.
Not a bad fact.
Okay, it's a fact of life.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad pick.
All right. So
Because Ben's in the same boat too, coming back.
Yeah.
He's on the clock, literally.
Yeah.
And we need to give him some weapons for sure. Take the pressure off of him.
Well, and let me tell you what, that's when you come back to the third round, fourth round. Don't be surprised if you see Kelly Mond get drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers, or who's the kid out and at Stanford. Seals, whatever his name is. Okay, another big kid.
Yeah.
You're going to see them there. The Steelers are going to run a flyer on a third or a fourth round quarterback to add to that room with hopefully a rehabilitated Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah.
Okay. Who was the kid that was the fill-in last year at the end of the year?
Duck.
Not Duck. Dodd or.
Yeah, the second round quarterback that we took a few years back.
Yeah, he re-signed.
Yeah.
So you got a big quarterback room, and they're probably going to add a rookie to that mix. So your Steelers are going to be throwing crap at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Literally crap at the wall.
Well, I think you have some quality guys in there, though.
We'll see.
It could shake out to be the rookie and Haskins competing for the number 2 spot, and the other guys fall to the wayside. It's just that simple. But I like Mond. With Mississippi State. He's just he's going to be the next Dak Prescott. Speaking of Mississippi State, team that he came from, the college he came from.
Yeah.
Okay, big kid, athletic, live arm, leader. All right, you give him some. I mean, and that's been the whole thing. Give Jason Garrett the credit he deserves. That has been the whole reason why Dak Prescott has been able to step up and be a star quarterback. It's because he had a great quarterback coach for a head coach. Not a great head coach.
A great quarterback coach.
But a great quarterback coach.
It helps, certainly, to have
okay,
coaching.
and he had Kellen Moore as a great quarterback coach. And they coached him up. They said they didn't have to coach him very hard, but they coached him up. Yeah. And they showed him the finer points. And that's all it takes with a quarterback is the finer points. The finer points. Okay? You get a third-round guy like Russell Wilson.
Fourth round.
Fourth round? Third round? I thought he was third rounder.
Yeah, fourth rounder.
Fourth round?
I think so.
Okay. You get a good quarterback coach like a Schottenheimer.
There's a couple guys out there.
Yeah. Well, that was Schottenheimer was his quarterback coach.
Certainly helps. We talk about it all the time.
Coach him up.
Quarterbacks, got to do it.
Coach him up.
Yeah.
Well, who's your quarterback coach in Pittsburgh?
I don't even know. Honestly, forget.
Darryl.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 days, the draft will be here. So
10 days?
Yeah. I think today's Sunday, so 1, 2, 10 days. 10
and
days.
you don't work Thursday nights.
You
lucky bastard.
Not late. I always have. Well, it depends. No, I'm every other Thursday now. So next week, I'm working Thursday.
The following week you're not. You lucky bastard.
I'll be home. I'll be home for that.
I think I might. I might be.
Oh, you got the Rona. Part
Yeah,
two.
I'm a little sniffly.
Part two. Hey, by the way,
Wednesday night, I'm going to be a little coughing sniffly.
are we done with the sports stuff?
Oh, you just can't wait to get to the
I got
aliens.
an article I pulled up.
But June 1st is going to be
big day.
the cut down date for veterans before they have to pay everybody their signing bonuses.
Yeah.
That's when you're going to see a lot of cap casualties.
It's also a day where the Pentagon is going to release a lot of documents regarding stuff flying around our atmosphere. Now, here's my thing about that. Yeah, they're going to release a lot of documents. How many of those documents are going to be redacted, changed, modified? You're like, wait, is that a T or an R? It's not going to be a full disclosure, but it's at least a step in the right direction. There's been so much noise over the last several years. A lot of people wanting to get the information out, so apparently it's coming out. But this is something that our Senator Marco Rubio had said recently when he was addressing
a real stable guy
addressing the Senate in one of these, in Senate Intelligence Committee meetings that they had. His comment was, and this is a quote, "Worry is the stuff is flying over our facilities and we don't know what they are." Okay.
It's true.
Now, he goes on to say maybe it's got a logical explanation to it for all you haters and naysayers out there. But people want to know. I want to know what it is. He
Radioactive birds.
He says stuff's been flying over the top of our military installations, but we're unclear what is flying over it and who is controlling it. Pretty important questions, I would think. Okay, now
Drones?
let's not assume that these are green guys flying around in little suits trying to figure out what the hell we're doing.
They could be gray guys with the big eyes.
What if they're guys that look like us but just wear different hats? Or like Russians, for instance, red hats. What if they're guys maybe a little shorter, usually excel in the clothing industries? Maybe they're Asians, Chinese. Maybe they're
3 legs.
Maybe, yeah. Again, these could be people like us. What if this is another country? What if somebody else who doesn't like us may have technology that we don't have? These are all questions that we should probably find out. So I don't think it's other countries. I don't think anybody has the capabilities of some of the stuff that they've seen, that they've recorded, that they've witnessed. And we've gone over it many times. It's coming. I mean, it's going to be too hard, I think, to keep the lid on things in terms of at least the information that's out there. It's still going to be up to everybody to decide what they believe, what they don't believe, what your religious preferences allow you to believe or not believe. That's on you. But again, it's coming. The information is going to be out there June 1st. A lot of stuff's going to be made public that we've never been able to see before. I'm looking forward to that because, again, it's just going to continue to flame, add fuel to the fire, whatever you want to say the analogy is to say that we are not alone.
Well, okay. Now, you know I'm a big Gene Roddenberry fan. I'm a big Star Trek fan.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of the concepts in Star Trek are very plausible. I think that Roddenberry was a visionary. Okay, he took the concept of the galaxy, the universe. Let's first of all let's parse galaxy versus universe. Okay, the universe, which is the Milky Way, where our solar system exists. Okay, you've seen pictures of the Milky Way. Okay, which are just They're conceptualized drawings. There's no pictures of the Milky Way.
Which ironically is a very underrated chocolate bar.
Right.
Big Milky Way fan.
Especially if you smoke a lot of weed.
Sorry. Digress.
So the Milky Way is this large galaxy. It's almost like a pinwheel, looks like a hurricane of stars and everything like that, okay? Now, it has millions of stars. And for the most part, all of those stars are on their own little solar systems, their own little star systems. And there are varieties of different stars, okay? Now, in Gene Roddenberry's universe, which is the broader expanse of space, okay, the Milky Way is divided into 4 quadrants, the alpha, beta, delta, and gamma quadrants. Okay, and then outside of those is the rest of space, uncharted space, but it exists. Okay, that's the reason why you've seen Deep Space Nine. Okay, the deep space platforms are all on the edges of these 4 quadrants, the explored quadrants. All right, the gamma quadrant is not. We are the alpha quadrant. Delta quadrant is where you have the Romulans and the Klingons, okay, and it was alpha, beta, and the beta quadrant is the Romulans and Klingons. Delta quadrant is the Vulcans and the Andorians and a bunch of others, okay. Gamma quadrant, that's got all kinds of crazy stuff in it. That's got the Dominion, that's got the Cardassians. Not the Kardashians, but the Cardassians.
The Jenners.
The Jenners,
the
exactly.
Jenners, or the whoever he
and
is.
the Borg, way out there with the Borg. But the Borg turns out is all around us. Okay, so to give you a little bit of scope, our solar system, us and our 8, 9 planets, if you think Pluto is a planet,
I consider it a planet,
and the Kuiper Belt. Okay, we are just one little star. Our sun is one of those little stars in those millions of stars. So there are tens of billions of planets. Okay, so Roddenberry subscribed to this theory. Okay, and there's a wide variety of planets. And they gave each planet, of course, a human perspective as to what classes of planets were. And the planets were classed A through, I think they were classed A through S, and they also received some numerical classifications. And M grade planets, M class planets, of course, are habitable by humans, or human habitable types. Okay, there are various other planets that are human and humanoid inhabitable types. They come with different number classifications.
What would you consider Pompano? How were that? What kind of
Pompano
classification?
is M4 class.
Yeah, I don't think that rate's very high.
Because of the pollen count.
Yeah,
but
definitely a lot of spores.
Right.
Mold. Yeah, sorry.
But for the human race to be so conceited and have such hubris to think that they are the only intelligent species in the universe, not just the galaxy, not just our star system, our solar system, but to be the only intelligent the only intelligent species in the galaxy, much less the universe, is madness.
I
okay,
agree.
and let's and just to be clear, okay, ships travel at warp speed, which is essentially class 1 speed of light. If you're traveling warp 9, it's 9 times the speed of light. Okay, so you have light speed travel, and it still takes you a year to get across a quadrant. Okay,
How massive is that? It's just insane.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's you can go warp 9, and it takes you a year to get from one end of the alpha quadrant to the other end of the alpha quadrant. Okay,
Yeah.
you know, a parsec, if you will, but that's 9 times a parsec. Okay, so that's how massive just the galaxy is. Our galaxy in the scope of the universe, because there's other galaxies out there.
Sure.
Okay.
That's why I think it's possible that we haven't been found, perhaps, or maybe we have by only a few. I think there's
we're like the crappy cul-de-sac of the universe, dude.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I believe it.
I've said this over and over again. We are the crazy people at the end of the cul-de-sac, where it's the only house at the end of the cul-de-sac.
It's the yellow house.
It's not even the yellow house. You can't see it because it's got a big wooden privacy fence around it. It's got several large angry dogs. And there's like a skull mounted on a pike in the front by the front gate, and there's all kinds of keep out signs. All right. But meanwhile, every once in a while, somebody comes out the gate to get the mail and says, "Howdy, neighbor."
Yeah, really.
And it gives you the chills. Like, oh my God.
They live there?
She's looking at me. Keep walking. Don't say nothing. Don't look. Okay? I don't think we're that fascinating. I don't. Because one thing that they have noticed in Roddenberry's world, okay, and sorry guys, we've gone from sports to sci-fi, but in Roddenberry's universe, civilizations are at different levels of progress.
Sure.
Okay? So you will get an M-class planet as they're exploring, okay, but then you take a look at the people on the planet and they've only advanced as far as our medieval times. Okay, they've only advanced to tribal living in huts and caves.
Sure. Well, think about where we've gone over just the last so many years. Our technology improves exponentially based on time. Right. So we're a young country, just using our USA as an example, and maybe when we think technology, we think computers, we think of cars, we think of how basic is that in terms of the beginning stages of a civilization and its growth and development?
Sure.
The wheel, okay, that was, oh my God, that changed everything, the friggin' wheel. Think about the head start other civilizations get. Give them 100-year head start. Give them 1,000-year head start. Where were they going to be now in terms of their technological capabilities?
Yeah, all you have to listen.
I mean, 10,000 years. Where are they going to be? Where are we going to be in 300?
All you have to do is take 1,000 years. Think about the year 1021, the 11th century, 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, what were we doing 1,000 years ago? Versus
in
now.
Holes.
Exactly.
Yeah, writing on rocks.
Exactly.
Yeah, we were.
Well, we weren't writing on rocks.
I mean, theoretically, still, you get my point. We weren't.
It was the Dark Ages.
Yeah, it was a little dark. There was no light.
We were setting people on fire for knowing how to cure the common cold with herbs because they were witches.
Yeah, so it's unfathomable to think.
We were stoning women for saying no to a marriage proposal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very, very basic.
I mean, it was.
So again, give a civilization just a slight head start, and it's going to be a different ball game.
Listen, the biggest jump has come in the last 150 years. The biggest jump. It really has. Yeah. Okay, I mean, let's think of it 150 years ago. We're talking about the 1870s.
Just about the end of the Civil War.
Right. We had finished the Civil War, which was a brutal, brutal display of violence. Okay, how much different were we 100 years before the Civil War? Not very.
No,
not very.
No
mechanized transportation.
No, not at all.
No independently mechanized transportation. Electricity was a concept. Electricity electricity had been discovered, but it was a hot and cold running water.
Yeah.
Water still had to be boiled and heated, and nothing had changed from 500 years earlier.
Yeah.
Nothing much had changed. Still horse dominated, still agrarian, still farm dominated.
Yeah, live off the land type.
Exactly.
Well, there was no railroad. I mean, there was
a railroad. There was a railroad. It's 1870. There was a lot of progress.
Oh no, I'm saying, but in terms of 1820s is when it first started. But no,
from 150 years ago to today. Okay, 150 to today. Okay, the Stanley steamer started at about 1880. Okay, so they're independently powered vehicles. Okay, and I'm sure there were steamboats back then in the late 1800s as well.
Yeah.
Okay, but from there, you just went, Industrial Revolution, and then we learned through various world wars how to kill each other and how to put each other back together. Through these world wars, I'll give society this. I'll give humanity this. Through war, we learn how to kill and we learn how to help each other. Mm-hmm. Okay, I still say that the war really wasn't worth it, but how do you know you can put an arm back on until you blow it off?
Reparations are a big business,
right? Yeah. So, for us to have this attitude that we are the only intelligent life in the universe is absurd. Absurd. But by the same token, who's spying on us? You know, it's the same with the anti-vax guys who are in their mom's basement clickety-clacking on their computer going, I'm not getting the vaccine because I don't want the NSA tracking me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, why? Because they want to track you from house to house while you deliver pizza for Papa John's? You know, take it easy, Daryl. We're Daryl.
The only reason why we would be monitored from an outside source like that is for one of two reasons. One, because our resources are valuable to someone in some way. Okay, this is a resource matter.
Yeah.
And or we somehow play into a picture of some kind. We're a piece of a puzzle that they control or that they want to have control.
We're strategically advantageous?
To somebody or to some way or whatever it may be, how it plays in this puzzle. What that puzzle is, I don't know. Maybe
they're refugees from another M-class planet.
Maybe it's a military strategic thing. It's a location issue with our planet. Whatever it may be, it's either one of those two or both.
You know what I want to see? You know what I want to see? I want to see first contact. Okay, I want to see the aliens or the extraterrestrials. We can't call them aliens because that just means that they're strange.
First observed contact, mean general population.
I mean public contact.
Because it's already been there. All right, so,
public contact.
Right. So you and I,
and you know what?
So we turned the news on, and there's a green guy shaking hands with Biden. Is that
well, it's not even a green guy. You know what? It's not even a green guy, and it's not even shaking hands with Biden. Okay, because let's face facts. If they're going to contact us, they're going to find out who the predominant species is on this planet. First, they're going to say humans, and then they're going to say it's these guys with the eyes, the slanty eyes, because there's more of them. So it's going to be like China, or it's going to be a Muslim nation. Okay, they're going to show up and they're going to be like, "Hi, how you doing?" And they're going to take the Voyager satellite and they go, your crap was floating around in our space here. Why was this and floating? You mind not putting your crap out there? Okay, and then they're going to bring the Hubble telescope and they're going to go, were you spying on us? You know, here's your crap. They're going to come back and they're going to drop our crap and they're going to say, now stop sending crap out. And Mars is only as far as you're allowed to go. Got it? Okay.
Put a fence up.
They're going to come up and they're going to come to us and they're going to put us in timeout. Yeah. You know, because I'm telling you, we're polluting. You know, they're going to be like, you put all this crap out there. You know, it goes someplace, right?
Yeah, it circles around.
Circles around.
There's a lot of room that we talked about. So a few satellites banging around out there is not going to make that big of a difference.
Right.
So
right, but Voyager, Viking, Hubble telescope, not going to like all that stuff floating around.
We'll see.
We've already got 3 things floating around Mars. We've already got crap floating around another planet. That's a little something that everybody seems to neglect.
Well, you know what? That one piece of rock that's not too far off, the Chinese are already on the other side of that thing, so they have an idea what's going on.
The Chinese are on the dark side of the moon?
Yeah.
Sneaky Chinese.
God, what are they doing over there anyway?
I think they already met the aliens.
You think maybe they're the aliens?
You're a weird kid.
They could be.
I'm telling you, they're gonna show up one day, and then they're gonna show up, and he's gonna be President Xi standing on the steps of their presidential palace.
President Xi, by the way.
Whatever. And the guy's gonna be like, "Is this yours?" And you're like, "No, that is those guys over there." Okay, be right back. And then they're going to grab Joe and go, "This is your crap?" Yeah. They're going to drop it on the front lawn of the White House and go, "Keep your crap out of my space."
What kind of accent did you just give?
Oh, no, that is those guys over there.
Okay, it's better. Yeah,
that's a really bad Chinese accent.
I think it was a slight Arab at first, but maybe he's got that in him. You know.
Well, how about I do an Indian accent for you? Okay, so we've gone completely to idiocy. Okay.
Here we go. So 98 minutes in, I think we're done, aren't we? We covered a lot today.
God, let's put another pot of coffee on and do some more stuff.
I'm out. I got nothing.
Coffee.
All right, well, peace out.
Yeah, we are going to say peace out. I just wanted to warn everybody in advance that I will be refiring up the Gonzo Radio podcast, the actual podcast, one-on-one interviews with myself and comedians and various other strange friends and actor friends and interesting friends of mine. because I'm able to have people in the studio now because Roscoe has getting vaccinated. So you have to respect the COVID. So I've respected the COVID. And we are going to start to fire things back up. Now, it'll be a similar background as this, but over there won't be a big bald head every time. There will be somebody else.
What's wrong with my big bald head?
There's nothing wrong with it. I thought I'd catch it right there while it's shining in the camera.
It is shining.
So on behalf of myself and the big bald head.
That's me.
I swear, when you put your head down like that, you look like an alien. You sure you don't have like the Viking spacecraft or anything like that?
Look like that. Good thing not a lot of people are taller than me.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, there's a lot going on out there.
Yeah, it's like people looking up my nose for hairs. So on behalf of myself and the big bald head,
That's me.
say goodbye to the nice people.
See ya.
We'll get weird with you again next week here on the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk.
A lot of weirdness.
Make sure you go ahead and search Gonzo Radio on everything. You can go at MLB Joy Us, find him on the Instagrams, and Gonzo Radio. Search it on all the platforms, including Twitter. Go to Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Nobody's following me on Twitter.
What's Twitter?
I swear I'm not posting political stuff on Twitter or anything like that. I'm being good. So do that. I'm Big Daddy Gonzo. We'll catch you guys next week here at 11 a.m. sharp.